Yo, I don't know if you've heard this, y'all, but Will Smith has a new album out and he's cursing. Why is nobody more excited about this? So Will Smith, who you guys know as an artist, entertainer, actor, and purveyor of the slap, he recently came out with a new album called Based on a True Story. I've been listening to it ad nauseum, and let me tell you guys, I am thoroughly a fan of the album. But what's interesting is in his entire career as a musician, he rarely went about the route of actually cursing in his songs. Like, you hear occasional hell or damn, you know, the acceptable words that are like PG rated, but he's never really gone into territory where he's just outright full on cursed or used the N-word. And so as a result of the slap happening, he's had 2 years to deconstruct and realize that he was putting on a facade by not fully showing himself as he wanted to and trying to be overly pleasing to the public. And part of that persona was him not cursing in his music. Now, let's ignore the fact that he had no problem cursing in movies. I get it. Those are characters. And he felt as though if the character was going to say it, then that was fine. But him portraying, I guess, the character of Will Smith he's been giving us, that version of his character did not curse. He decided he wanted to be his full self and be able to express himself however he saw fit, including allowing himself for the first time to actually have songs where he cursed. When he announced this, my thought was like, hey, you know what? If you can make your cursing sound, you know, natural to the song and you feel as though you can deliver it properly, then go ahead and do that. In listening to the album, I gotta be honest, because this is the no cap zone. I gotta keep it real. I feel like most of the cursing that he uses on this album, it feels really tacked on. Like, it feels like Will Smith said to himself, hey, I'm going to allow myself to curse. And then as he was writing songs was like, oh, snap, that's right, I curse now. I can add a curse word here or there. It kind of reminds me of like when I was growing up, I grew up in a household where we could not curse. We bought music that was censored, and around my mom, we couldn't watch stuff that had a lot of cursing in it, and we definitely could not curse at her, which is fine. You know, you want to be respectful of your parents. But so my vocabulary as a young man was very censored and very clean. And when I got into college, my first 2 or 3 years, it was also like that. Like, I was out of my mama's house, but I still was like, no, I don't want to say bad words. And then in my senior year of college, I roomed with my best friend. We got an apartment together, and that dude cursed up a storm. Like, every other word out of his mouth darn near could be a curse word. And so by osmosis of living with him, I started to curse a lot more. And when I first started doing it, it did not sound natural. It just sounded like, oh, I can curse, I can use it, whatever. And so I hearkened back to that same feeling listening to this album. For one, the fact that this album is actually more of an inspirational album, like he's talking about, you know, overcoming adversity and being your authentic self and not letting the word destroy your joy. And that's actually a great message. It's just weird that this would also be the album where he decides he also wants to curse at times, which seems really odd for, again, you're being inspirational, but you're saying you want to curse. That doesn't match up well for me personally. But on top of that, he doesn't really curse a lot on this album. Like, the album's got a parental advisory sticker on it, and there are several songs that do have cursing in them. The first song, International, I think it's International Barbershop Day, that is the only song where throughout the course of the song, there's consistent cursing. There's use of the N-word a few times by Will Smith and some of his guests on the song as well. Like, that's the only song where it's used throughout. The rest of the songs, like Looking for Me and Beautiful Scars, Tantrum, and Work of Art, those songs, he himself only curses like 1, maybe 2 times at most on those songs. And they sound like they didn't need to be placed there. Like, for example, on the song Beautiful Scars, he has a part where he says, G damn. And it sounds like he forced it in. Like, oh wait, I'm gonna write a line. Watch this, guys. I'm gonna say GD. Oh my gosh, look at that. People are gonna be whacked out of their minds. It's the only time in the song he uses it. And again, the rest of the song is him being inspirational, saying you are the one that can make it and you can be the best and whatever. So I'm like, again, it feels like it was forced. And also, why did you feel the need to add it to that particular song? Like, you could have not used that as a lyric and it'd have been totally fine. And that's the main issue I have, is that I don't have a problem necessarily with Will Smith trying to curse on records. If he wants to do that, he's grown, he's 56 or 50, whatever he is, he can do that. But it's just, was it necessary? And I always think to myself, if the person is not doing what I consider to be necessary cursing, then it doesn't need to be there. And I know that sounds weird, but like a lot of rappers are able to actually like fluidly put curse words into their songs. On the Beautiful Scars track, Big Sean's on there. He curses all of like 3 times and it doesn't sound forced. It just sounds like this is just part of what he's just expressing as he's writing. And it just so happens that part of that expression that he does is that he curses from time to time, but it doesn't feel forced. But most of the places where Will Smith does it on this album, the cursing feels forced, except for where he says, I like the line he says on Work of Art where he says, everybody wants to be a lion until it's time to do lion shit. That was the one time outside of the first song on the album where I felt as though, hey, that makes sense. And it sounds like he'd say that. But shit is also one of those, like, that's more of a PG-13 word. That's like right in his wheelhouse, you know, his wheelhouse. But him saying the F word, him saying the N word, like it still feels off brand. And maybe that's just because us as an audience haven't been used to hearing him curse in song form. So it's just going to take us time to get used to, but it still feels kind of odd and awkward. And so to that end, I don't think he did enough cursing in this album to warrant doing it just for the purposes of getting the parental advisory sticker. Because really, if I was a parent that had a kid and I bought the new Will Smith album, I'd listen through it and be like, objectively, he doesn't curse enough to corrupt my kid. Hey, kid, this is totally fine. Listen to this. He's going to say the S word on one song and the F word a couple times in one song, but overall the album's fine. Go ahead, listen to it. You won't be tainted by it. That's how. And I like the album overall. Like I said, like I think the album. I wish more people were listening to it because I think it has a good feel to it. Will Smith's never been like the champion rapper of rap. Like he's just a dude that, you know, he raps. Who said it? Eminem said one time, he raps in his regular voice. Like he raps the way he talks, you know? So if you don't like that style of rap, then you're probably not a fan of Will Smith already because he's been rapping like that since the Getting Jiggy days and the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air days and all that other stuff. But I liked it. I like albums these days with positive messages and this one's, he gets a little preachy at times, but the beats are great. He has a wide variety of different selections on the album. I think his messaging overall is great. He has fun songs on there. He has serious songs. He has uplifting songs. He has songs with his son and songs with other artists that are really vibrant. And it's a good feel overall. And it also could have not had the cursing and basically been the same album. But hey, for those of you that have heard the new Will Smith album, let me know your thoughts. Do you think the cursing was warranted? Do you think it could have been left off altogether? Do you care? Leave it down in the comments below. Also, guys, let me know what other subjects you'd like me to cover on this program because this is all about entertaining you guys and talking about things as it pertains to music that you guys are interested in. So that's all I got for today. I'm APT Songs, and I will catch you guys on the next video. I'm out. Peace.
I'm slicker than 1,000 baby oil bottles. If you ask him, did he do it? I'm like, yeah, I'm popping models. If you see me on the mic, you know I go at it full throttle. If you hate on me today, then you gon' really hate tomorrow. I'm slicker than 1,000 baby oil bottles. If you ask him, did he do it? I'm like, yeah, I'm popping models. If you see me on the mic, you know I go at it full throttle. If you hate on me today, then